I don't think there's any public comment, so we can jump right into newsletter items. Are there anything in particular that happened in the newsletter that we should discuss?
We can just scroll through it. Turn on my microphone here. So I don't know if you all saw the outreach that I did, the marketing outreach for new members. If you scroll down a little bit right here.
Yes.
This is the graphic. If you scroll down just a little bit more, there's the graphic and then the information about seeking new members for committees. We did an e-blast on Wednesday, and it was sent out at about 10:30, and within 15-20 minutes I had 3 applications.
Yay!
2
awesome.
which are for ACES.
Great.
Excellent.
So we
That's
will
fantastic.
have 1 interview in July and 1 in August.
Perfect.
Good news.
So, and then the Recycle Row options in Boulder County, that came out of the dinner meeting with the town board. We had talked about how we wanted to make sure that the community knows about the options within Boulder County. And so I submitted this information to be put in the newsletter as well.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
And then there's some other information there as well.
Some of the call and ride stuff. That's great.
Yeah. And then if you scroll down, then the main focus article of this newsletter, I think it's after At the Firehouse.
Mhm.
Keep going down. Oh, it was the Simplify Your Bike Commute, the commuting
Mhm.
the different commuting solutions around town.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yep. So, and then down at the bottom is the stuff that we continue with every month. It's important for residents to have that information, so it's down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Cool.
When do we get updates on like the yard waste facility volume and usage?
So I know that those requests are out to
Okay.
get that information, and I believe Martin and I are working very closely. So as soon as he gets, because he'll be the one that gets that information, he'll send that on to me, and then I'll bring it to a meeting.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks.
Breaking things again.
Apparently. Can I close that?
There you go. And the FAR.
PDF.
Yep.
Oh, that's PDF. Okay.
Yeah.
Apologies. All right, so recap of 4th of July. As I mentioned to some of you already, I think it went pretty well. There weren't a whole lot of people that actually stopped at the booth, but of those who did, there are a large number actually that were interested in potentially joining the committee. So that was really cool to see that interest. And I think the flyers that you helped create were super helpful in providing more information. So thanks so much for that.
Awesome.
Surprisingly, there wasn't a whole lot of interest in the LEDs, so we only got rid of like a box or 2. There are a lot of people coming up saying that they had already switched out all of their lights for LEDs already, so that was surprising. I thought that was a pretty awesome giveaway, so definitely not what we expected. But yeah, otherwise I think the event went really well, and there's a fair amount of interest. So great.
Excellent.
Any questions about that before we move on? Nope. And we've got to note that the Chili Fest is coming up in September on the 8th. Have we figured out who's attending that?
So we
Or-
haven't discussed that, so we can start
Okay.
talking about calendars and schedules. And
I
who's-
should be in town, so
Okay.
I can do it. I know it's nice to have like shifts,
Mhm.
so if other people are also interested.
I'll be around. I can help out too.
I believe I'll be around too, so I should be able to help out with that one.
And possibly by then, we should have a few more members, so we can.
Yep, fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah,
Absolutely.
what are the hours for that again?
Is it 2 to 6? Is that?
Don't remember.
I think I just saw it on.
Yeah,
the
it was
flyer.
in the newsletter, if we go
Yeah.
I
back
think it's
to
up
the
towards the
newsletter.
very top. Or is that it? Here.
There
okay,
it
yeah,
is.
2 to
Yep,
6.
2 to
p.m.
2 to
6.
6.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it would be nice to have some people that are like 2 to 4 and some people that are 4 to 6.
Yeah, that makes
and that
sense.
way we
Mhm.
can kind of break it up.
And also, if we can have multiple people there, I think that
Yes.
would be cool too.
Yeah.
I know some of the other committees had like, 4
4 or
people,
5.
and then I was sitting there like, yep, I do environmental stuff.
Great.
Cool.
I can
Be
come
great.
too.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
So yeah, so maybe at our August meeting, we can just confirm who's gonna take which shifts and see if we have some new folks by then as well.
Yeah, sounds great. So we have a 2019 budget reminder. The Budget Review Committee is working to finalize a balanced budget for the board to begin their review next month. So staff will pass along meeting dates once they're set. Is there anything else we should know about that for now?
Nope,
Just
that's-
waiting.
That's pretty much all the information that we have right now, that they're just
Okay.
working on that right now, so.
Sounds
We'll
good.
have dates set soon.
So one thing on that might be helpful for our committee is like knowing like what things are tied to our committee currently, and then
Any sort of projects or anything, yeah,
'cause-
absolutely.
Because like I don't have a good sense of like what are the things that we have any impact on, and where would we maybe ask for certain things.
Yep, absolutely. And I, like I said before, Martin and I are working pretty closely together, and he's kind of taking on that budget piece, since I'm rather new to all of that. And so I will definitely speak with him about that and make sure that I'm getting any information to you guys about what would pertain to this committee.
Cool.
Great, thank you.
I think, was it a couple meetings ago? I'm not sure if you were at that meeting, but we had talked about potentially asking for some additional money to have a consultant come in and look at opportunities for EV charging and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that gets approved.
Yeah.
And then some of the other ongoing things like the dog waste program, the dog park, and some of those types of things are also in the budget as well.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right. Any other questions, comments about the new business and updates? Cool. Well, then we can jump into the Green Business Recognition Program. I can go ahead and pull up your press release
Okay.
as well. Probably. Cool.
Yeah, so I think in general, from our side, we need to obviously announce said program.
Mhm.
So getting the press release and getting the link on our website are the two things for us. And once we have this press release finalized, Heather said she would also distribute through chamber networks. But then, I don't know what else we need to take a look maybe at that project guideline that we had originally.
Okay. Yeah, I believe the main thing was the press release and then getting it up on the website for the time being. And then we can kind of expand that as time goes on.
Yeah.
And as the program starts to roll out.
Yes, and I know they are having a breakfast in August. That's kind of an inter-city event. So Louisville, Lafayette, Superior. It's going to be hosted at the Superior Sports Stable. Heather is liaising with some other folks. I won't be able to attend it, but I can make sure the date is out to everybody on the committee. I think you were copied on that email as well. Because an Excel is sponsoring it. I'll find that.
Yeah, if you'll forward that to me, because
Yes.
I work in the building, so.
Yes, yes.
I can definitely be there.
Excellent. Just change this to Superior real quick.
Well, that
it
one
is-
was, sorry, I think that was a statistic about
Oh, was it? Okay,
Las
sorry.
Vegas. Was that right?
Oh, yeah.
Should we?
I thought I took that out. Okay, sorry. Yes, that should be gone.
These two
Yes.
sentences?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Apologies.
No problem.
So yeah, so this is heavily copied from the Lafayette release, obviously. But they had a couple of quotes in theirs of like why it's beneficial to the community and how it supports our town goals. I don't know if we have a local business that's already working with PACE that maybe would be willing to say something about the advising services are so
Mhm.
easy to use. So those are the three pieces that I think we really need to identify, like who can be those people. So I can ask Matt and Zachary from PACE if they have a local business in mind.
Okay.
Once everybody nods their heads that we like what else is here.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think this looks great. I'm happy to come up with some sort of quote to use.
Okay.
That's helpful.
Thank you. Yes.
And then, yeah, I like the idea of reaching out to PACE and seeing if they have a local business that can provide some feedback about that.
And even if they didn't have a Superior business, we could utilize a surrounding community business that has a quote.
Sure.
Yeah. Or
True.
maybe Matt would do something about how he works with the businesses. Okay. So Essie, if you wanna, you can think about it. You don't have to write it right now.
Yeah.
But if you wanna,
Carefully about my
if you
quote.
wanna put a quote in there, and we're okay with this, then I can send to Heather for a quote and check with Matt on what would work best.
Okay. Yeah, I think this looks good to me.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yes.
Any other updates on the Green Business Program that we should talk about? I think this was the main thing, but
Yeah.
So is that what Lafayette does? They give a decal, like a little, because I don't know if we had really,
So
decided
Lafayette,
on how to recognize the
Louisville,
businesses.
Boulder, they all do decals. We had talked about, we'll do like Chili Fest, some sort of recognition of all of the businesses who are working with PACE at that point. Other town events, I think we talked about doing something at the Light the Tree event as well. And maybe like as they get certified, recognizing them like in the newsletter or something like that. We need to still, or I need to still reach out to Rock Creek Living Magazine and see how much advertising would cost to do like a year-end, like congrats to all of our green businesses, and see if that fits into our budget.
okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I could maybe help with that. I know some of,
Yeah.
I know some of the people that do the advertising
Oh.
for Rock Creek Living and Indian Peak, so.
If you would like to take that
Yeah,
on, you are welcome
yeah,
to do so.
makes sense.
Great.
Cool, thanks so much.
Yes. Okay.
Yep, and then I will check with staff on the Chili Fest business recognition.
Okay.
And since I'm relatively new, I haven't seen Chili Fest yet, so I'm not exactly sure how that whole event happens, but I'll see if there would be time during that event to make some sort of recognition, and I'll bring that
Awesome.
back to the next meeting.
Thanks.
And then as far as putting it out in the newsletter, we can definitely utilize it as part of our bullet points in the pros newsletter. So if every time we get a business that's, certified or working with PACE, we can then put that in our pros bullet points for the newsletter.
Excellent. Sounds great.
Is the PACE team all set up and ready to
I think they have.
do the surveys and
Yeah, I
things?
think they
Yeah.
have all of their platform ready to go. So I think it's just a matter of us getting a link from them. Did they give you a link?
No, so
yet?
I don't have the link. That was the
Okay.
other question I was going to ask. If someone wants to reach out to them and
I
just have it,
can.
send it directly to me, I can.
Okay.
I have access to the website and I can make that happen quickly.
Okay. Okay. I will reach out to them.
Cool, thanks. And before we get to the pros, did you want to talk about EV charging or?
Well, yeah, I think our determination from last time, well, we know that the town board has expressed interest in supporting electric vehicle charging, in particular in the new downtown Superior, both to be more sustainable and potentially to attract visitors to that area. And we did some preliminary research into what the options could be. I think we determined that there's great ability for the state to support some of the cost or share in the cost of those systems. But we would require some further research or analysis to understand how much it costs, how it affects the utility infrastructure over there. And that's when we determined that we would need a consultant to help us figure all that out, because it would be challenging for us to figure it out on our own and incorporate that into the budgeting process. So I think our conclusion on a path forward was to try to get money to fund someone else to do a little engineering and economic research for us to put that in, which would mean that it would have to go, since the town would presumably be contributing funds, it would have to wait until next year's budget process to get funding allocated to it, unless we found another option to get private businesses to pay for it. So that's where we stand, but I think we, would be generally supportive of the value of putting that in, especially in a brand new development. like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Did anyone else have any things that they wanted to talk about before we do the bullets, the pros newsletter? This might be your fastest ever meeting.
Yeah. Well, so, and I was just going to say, as far as the agenda goes, and bringing up other items that we want to talk about. So when the agenda gets sent out to everyone, if there are other things that you come up that you would want to talk about, go ahead and shoot an email out to myself and the rest of the committee so we can get that added on to the agenda.
Sure.
Because we just want to make sure that our meetings are following agendas and that we're not just
Absolutely.
pulling things up to talk about. So, yeah, and I can kind of give you a little bit of an update as far as my position goes and working with agenda management. I'm currently seeking out a set of software that would do some committee management and agenda management, which is kind of exciting. So all committees across the board would utilize a specific software to produce and then run their notes off of that software. And I actually have the meeting tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited about it, and it's gonna make your guys' job a lot easier too, as far as agenda management goes, because then everyone can kind of communicate and throw out what they want
That'd be
to be
fantastic.
on the agenda instead of shooting a bunch of different emails around. So it'll be a definite step forward in committee management.
Yeah.
So.
Excellent, thanks.
Yeah, I think keeping the work plan top of mind of like what were the things that we said we were going to do, and then are we actually talking about those during, because there's a lot on our work plan, and with three, we're only together 3 times for each quarter, and there's like 12 things to do in each quarter. So I
Absolutely.
think that will help make sure that we are touching
Yep.
the things we intended to.
That's a great point, Caitlin, and I suggest that everyone always go back and look at the last agenda and the work plan at the same time when we're about a week before the next meeting, so that then those things can be fresh in your mind, and something, like the EV charging stations might pop up and you can say, okay, we do need to discuss this, or we need to complete this at the next meeting. So if everyone's kind of doing that, then we can make sure that we're working on those items from the work plan.
Excellent. All right, sounds good. I'll make sure to look over the work plan for the next meeting too. Add those as
know.
needed. All right, do we want to come up with some bullet points for the pros newsletter for July?
And actually, that'll be for August.
Or for August, right?
I guess we should have changed that to August, yep.
I think we should, hoping we have the link on the website,
Yep.
put in the Green Business website and notice that that's up and running.
Maybe link to the press release as well in that same line.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think an update on the EV status that you provided would be useful as a bullet point. That we're waiting on budgetary considerations for that.
Yeah, because I think one of the last bullet points that we had did say that we were interested in seeking out a consultant to work on that. So then we
Okay,
can say that
excellent.
it's been submitted to budget in order to move forward.
Sounds good. And then maybe just that the 4th of July event went well, and we had lots of interest in potential applicants for the committee.
Okay.
So.
actually, and since it will be for the August newsletter, we may want to say something about Chili Fest for September, and then
That's a
talk
good
about
point.
the swag that we have to give out.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Since we
Take a
just
picture
found
of the
that box
table.
with
Yeah,
the fun stuff. I
Great
could take a
stuff.
picture of the stuff and
Come to Chili
add that.
Fest and get light bulbs.
Perfect.
One other budget item, sorry to jump back.
Mhm.
So I know we do, the vouchers for Garden in a Box for the spring Garden in a Box, but I don't think we're doing them for fall, cause I looked today.
Right.
Is that something we've talked about adding into our budget request? Cause I know like we always run out of the spring ones, like people like it.
Yeah, I know it's come up before, and I can't remember exactly what our decision was about that. I can't remember if it got added into the formal budget request. Yeah, I'd be happy to look back into that and
Okay.
see. I'm not sure, Karen, I assume you don't know off the top of your head?
I don't, but
Okay.
I'm jotting it down, so I could
Cool.
definitely look into that. And I can
Okay.
send an email to let everyone know.
Sure, that'd be great, thanks. But yeah, I know it's definitely something that's come up because the Garden in a Box program is so popular and successful. So that'd be awesome.
I like Garden in a Box.
I didn't even know about it.
I didn't know about it until I joined this committee either, and now I'm like a huge fan.
It's basically, you can go in and buy a whole, like, set of plants that are all designed to go in a certain layout and look nice together and stuff. And they're all different sizes, and they have like some like vegetable gardens versus just
Like
flowers.
paint by number for
That's
gardening.
nice.
Yeah, that's a good description of it.
And then, I mean, they're good quality plants, and
Mhm.
they're all like locally grown, and local like landscape designers that set up the layouts, and
Yeah.
there's not as many options for the fall Garden in a Box,
Mhm.
but they still have it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And they're all just like supposed to be like low water native plants. So.
Mhm. Apart from the vegetable
So,
one.
and how do you get them? How do people?
They have pickup days, and so when you like buy a Garden in a Box, you select where you want to pick it up, and so it'll say like if you want to do it in Boulder, it's on this date. If you want to do it in Arvada, it's this date.
Okay.
So they've got different pickups, which is another thing. I think we had talked about maybe like could there be a Superior pickup location,
Yeah.
but there currently isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and we should definitely add that as an agenda item. I have the results
Yeah.
from this past year's.
Yay.
Oh,
We
excellent.
ordered 50 boxes, and unfortunately, we only sold 34.
Really?
So
Wow.
68% were sold.
Huh.
So we may want to do some additional, marketing or advertising, or make sure we put it in our bullet points, or, something like that as we
Absolutely.
move forward.
With Garden in a Box, if the vouchers don't get used,
So that's a good question.
can we roll them over to fall, or is it like we paid, the town paid and that money's just gone to Resource Central?
So I don't have the question to that, but I can definitely find that out, because that would be
Okay.
something
be
interesting
great.
to know.
Yeah.
As we move forward. But I'll definitely look into
Okay.
that.
Cool,
Okay.
thanks. Great. Well, any final thoughts or comments? And I'll go ahead and look back through the work plan, so we'll have a little more fleshed out agenda next time.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, so August 9th, we will check in on the work plan.
Sounds good.
Yep, and just between now and then, if you guys want to get me any of the information for the Green Business Program, and we'll make that all happen hopefully before the next meeting.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Okay,
Cool. Well, thanks so much, everyone.
Great.
yes.
Perfect.